the greatest scene, and one of the greatest scenes in the book of Job is in chapter 1, the last part of the verse. The last three verses. Job's requirement and his continual relationship with God was steadfast. And those people that don't have a steadfast relationship, it's easy for us to fall out of line sometimes because we look at our problems and we look at our consequences of our sins and we say, well, am I suffering? That's why I brought up the point about keep looking at what we're looking at. Am I suffering because of my sins? Even though I've repented of my sins, is this a consequence from that? And that's something self-doubt, but you should not self-doubt God and his goodness and Job had to learn that lesson. He had to learn that lesson.
Here's something interesting about the book of Job. I don't know if you've ever considered this before. And there are different ideas on who the adversary is. I just think this is interesting. If Job were suffering today, you'd have some friends like Job. You'd have some friends that say you must have sinned. You'd have Job thinking whatever. But wouldn't at least somebody stand up and say, you're suffering because of who?
No.
And Job nor the friends ever mention it. Never. And one person ever says, hey, you know this, the devil hating on you, Job. Hey, you know the devil, you know he works. Not a one ever says.
No.
Maybe there's a third party. Maybe there's you only see you in God. And some people view the world that way. It's all black and white. But there's a third party. There is an adversary to the human soul, 1 Peter 5:8. And
he walks around like a roaring lion,
seeking whom he may devour. And the next verse is equally important. 1 Peter 5:9, whom you resist steadfast in your faith, knowing that the same conflict is being accomplished by your brethren throughout the world, saying, yeah, he wants to devour you, but not just you, it's everybody. Like we sometimes think we're God's black sheep, we're the devil's favorite punching bag, and it's only us. But Peter says he wants to devour everybody. The brotherhood throughout the world suffering through this. And Job is just one man who's suffering mightily, but he needed to know God couldn't be more proud of Job. And I know we talk, well, proud, what do you mean proud? Let's say it this way. God was completely satisfied with the way that Job had lived his life up to this point. And Job hadn't done anything wrong to bring on his suffering. In fact, one more thing before we close for today, go to Job chapter 2, just to cement this in your mind. This is an impressive statement that God makes about Job and about the reason Job's suffering. If you ever have any question about this, somebody read Job chapter 2 and verse 3. This is God talking after round 1 with Satan when Job loses all his stuff, but Job doesn't sin with his lips, 122. But read Job 2 and verse 3.
The Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil. And he still holds fast his integrity, although you incited me against him to ruin him without cause.
Wow. Why is Job suffering? No reason. God said that, not me.